Yes. Welcome back to another episode of Go Long Live. I am your host, Barry Long the second, not the first, not the third. I am the second. We are live on CoachellaValley.com. We are live on today'scalifornia.com. We are live on today'scanada.com. We are live all over the Twitterverse, the Metaverse, the Universe, you name it. We are live. We are thankful to Craig Campbell for the platform. We are also thankful to Sage Alvarez for all the work that he does behind the scenes distributing the show. Like I said, I'm Barry Long the first. I'm the second. And this is Mo Murphy the first. What's going on, Mo?
Bro, actually, I'm a junior, bro. I'm a
junior. Okay. Mo Murphy the second too.
No, I'm not the second. I'm a junior. You know what I'm saying? I'm a junior. Okay?
I'm a second because I have a different last name. I mean, a different middle name.
Me, my
same
dad,
middle name,
and me, then my son. We all got the same name.
What's your middle name?
See, bro, you trying to give me government now?
My middle name is Hamilton. All right, so we got to talk about a lot of stuff in sports today. We had a game last night between the Vikings and the Steelers. It was a crazy Thursday night game. Usually these games are boring. This game was boring in the first half, especially if you are a Steelers fan. But it was exciting in the second half. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to break down some of these matchups that we got coming on Sunday. But first, let's start the show off, on a somber note. We found the news out that Damaris Thomas, who was the wide receiver for the Broncos for so many years, he passed away. He was found dead yesterday, by his family members. And, according to sources, it's because he was having seizures, and those are related to some car accident that he was in 2019. So Damaris Thomas passed away. And one of his most famous plays was, of course, the that pass, that slant route from Tim Tebow against the Steelers. And it was, the first play of the overtime game, and it made them, get further into the playoffs. And just a sad story. But also we had an exciting, there's really no way to transition into, sports from that. I mean, it is sports related, but yeah. But we had an exciting finish in college basketball yesterday. We saw number 1 Purdue fall to unranked Rutgers, and here was the sequence of plays. Here was Purdue, and they scored. Purdue was down by 1. They scored, and they come down. That is Ron Harper Jr. Yes, son of Ron Harper. He goes for 3 and hits it at the buzzer, and the crowd goes wild. Look at the way they mob him. We talked about this before on the show about rushing the court. Have you ever rushed the court? I've rushed the court at VCU. Shout out to all the Rams. It is one of the most exciting things in all the sports to do. But yeah, man, that was a great shot, man. And Purdue, they haven't been number 1 ever until this season. That was an exciting finish to a game, and it was actually going on at the same time as the NFL game. So I had one eye on that TV, one eye on that TV. Did you watch it? How'd you feel about that?
Yeah, I seen some of it. I'm big watching college basketball, but what I took away from it, forget like knocking Purdue for losing to an unranked team or anything like that, bro. That shot, the afterward, that's what people love college sports for. Like, yes. That was the epitome of college sports. That to me is the difference between college sports and professional NBA and college basketball, NFL and college football, is that excitement on a game winner like that. Yeah, you've seen the crowd go crazy. There's memorable moments, but that happened at Rutgers, right? Like, that's a bottom of the barrel school in the Big Ten, pop up every now and then, halfway decent at basketball. And that happened at Rutgers, where like you only have certain stadiums that go crazy like that on a game winner on a Thursday night. And that's somewhere like the Garden in New York, or maybe even Staples Center. But other than that, might be a dead game in the middle of the week, game winner. The crowd wasn't full. They're not marching. So to me, that was just the thing, is like, bro, that's why we love college sports right there. That celebration, the way they won that game, but it's just the celebration, the passion from the fans, the players. It's just a different type of environment. College sports is just a different type of environment that you can't get consistently in professional sports until the playoffs.
Absolutely, man. And that's one of the main reasons why I love March Madness. It's being home on those first couple days.
March Madness is different.
Is nothing like it.
Probably the most exciting postseason, playoff, because that's college basketball's playoff. March Madness is probably the most exciting playoff in sports, period. Because it's not the same teams playing each other game in, game out.
Especially when Gus Johnson is on the call. Like, amazing.
Baby. That's where you really see your upsets is in March Madness, bro. We thought we never would see a 16 seed be the 1 seed, and we've seen it twice. We've seen it twice now. And we thought that was impossible. What was it? Before Virginia lost? You know, they were like 64-0 or something like that. Like the 1 seed never lost to number 16. Like that was the one thing that when you fill out your bracket, you could bank in number 1 seed is winning. We've seen it twice in like the past 3 or 4 years. So, you know, it's just something different. College basketball is just something different.
It is totally different. And you never really know who's going to be the champion at the end of the game because it's a one and done tournament. Yeah. And that's what makes it so exciting. All right, now let's talk about this other story that happened in the news. And I thought this was very interesting because people have been going to space, right? You know, all these celebrities have been going to space. Jeff Bezos is the one who built the rocket. It's called the Blue Origin. That's the rocket that's shaped like a like something I can't really talk about right here on CoachellaValley.com. But that's the rocket. That's the rocket. That is the rocket. It's called Blue Origin. And, you know, William Shatner, who was famous for being Captain Kirk on Star Trek, the original one, he was able to go to space with Jeff Bezos in his rocket. But now Michael Strahan is now going to space, and he will be going to space on Saturday at 6:45 Pacific time, so that's 9:45 Eastern time, and it is going to be amazing, man. We of course, you know him. He hosts a SAG record in the NFL. He also, you know, is the host of Good Morning America. He does it all, man. He's one of the anchors for NFL, Fox. He's just all over the TV. Everybody knows who Michael Strahan is. Everybody loves the Gap, and this guy is going to outer space, and you know. He's going to be 6'5". He's 6'5", so he's going to be the tallest person to ever go into space, bro. So the ticket is $450,000 right now. That's what it costs to go up to space. The trip is 11 minutes, Mo Murphy. Will you go to space if you had let's just say it was $450?
No.
Would you go? Would you go up to space for $450?
No.
Why not? Why not?
Bro, I would never leave this atmosphere, bro. Unless it's okay. Like,
why, man? Why, bro?
What you'll get me on is a plane, bro. No, listen. I've been out in the middle.
This is shorter than a plane ride. 11 minutes, bro.
And listen,
like an amusement park ride.
I've been out in the middle of the ocean, right? Okay. Just nothing surrounded by water, and not.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
But you think, like, bro, you get used to it because that's something you do every day. But the first time you step out there, it's terrifying because if something happens, there is no guarantee that your life is not guaranteed after something happens. Bro, I'm not leaving this atmosphere, bro. I never even want to go back out. You know, I never even want to go back out in the middle of the ocean again, let alone, bro, I'm not leaving this atmosphere. There is no way Michael Strahan can have that because there is no way in God's green earth that I'm in this atmosphere, bro. I'm meant to be in this atmosphere. The most you're going to get me is my eyes popping or my ears popping when I'm up coming from a plane ride. That's about it.
Bro, if I'm able to go to outer space, I'm gone. And I'll be back in 11 minutes.
You seem like one of them that would come back to outer space, bro. No.
Oh, bro. When you saw all right, the look on Jeff Bezos' face, Bezos, however you say his name, he's the richest man in the world. The look on his face when he came back from outer space, because they come down in that little head of the rocket.
Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. You remember the ending of that, bro?
Yeah.
that man coming back from the Chocolate Factory ride, bro.
But look, the look on his face is just like it's like a kid that just got off their first roller coaster, like like exhilaration.
You saw, bro. Like my thing is, bro, you don't know what's in space. I don't want to find out. Like, no.
Michael Strahan is bold, man. Shout out to him, man. That is a bold brother,
man. He seemed like one of them dudes that would go up to space, though. He just seemed like, oh, I'm down for whatever, brother. Like, yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Hey, I'm excited to see it, but it's going to be broadcast on BlueOrigin.com.
People have died, bro. No.
You said what?
People have died going to space, bro.
I know, man. This is for leisure. This is not like for NASA research. This is like, yo, I'm just going up to space real quick. I'll be back.
Like plenty of people have died. We've seen plenty of spaceships not make it back.
People die in a car every day. People died.
Have you seen Armageddon? You've seen Armageddon, right?
I've seen Armageddon.
Enough said. You see,
man.
Enough said.
Man, Michael Strahan is a brave brother, man. Shout out to him. But he's going to be the tallest person ever to enter space. And it's an 11-minute ride. And we'll see how it goes, man. The only thing I get worried about is that maybe if you get stuck out there and, like, you have nothing to eat. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to eat? Like, But if they can guarantee my safety and my survival, I'm going, man.
Nobody can guarantee your safety and survival in anything, bro. Just like let's just be honest. Nobody can guarantee that when you go up, you will come down. They could tell you.
Whatever the probability is, if the probability is high that I'll survive, then I'm going.
Man, look, if you telling me anything other than 100%, I ain't going. Because that 99.9, that 0.01, that happens. That 0.1 happens. It does happen. And so therefore I'm not.
I guess I'm just a risk taker, bro. I'm just a risk taker.
I keep telling myself, like, dang, it looks like I want to go skydiving. Like, man, I'd like to do that. But I know once I get up there, I'm not jumping. Bro. I'll catch y'all back down.
Yeah, you gonna waste everybody's time. You gonna waste the instructor's time, the pilot's time. Man, you better get your ass off the plane.
They got paid regardless. They don't care. They got paid.
All right, well, let's talk sports. Let's talk some real sports. Last night we had a game between the Vikings and the Steelers, and the Vikings went up 29-0. They absolutely dominated the line of scrimmage. They absolutely were running the ball fantastic. Dalvin Cook became the second rusher in a week to get 100 yards over them in one half. Of course, he finished with 205 yards, 27 carries, 2 touchdowns. KJ Osborne, my man, had an incredible catch on a deep pass from Kirk Cousins, but he had 3 catches for 83 yards. Justin Jefferson, 7 for 79 with a touchdown. But the story of the game really was, man, the cliche is it's the tale of two halves, and that's exactly what we saw last night. The first half, the Steelers looked like they were done, depleted. People were talking about maybe they just wasted all their energy beating the Ravens on Sunday. Now they don't have any energy. But what they did was they came out in that second half. They came out with some fire. A couple of things happened for them. A couple of things went their way. A call here, and then all of a sudden Minnesota starts throwing the ball when they should have been running the ball because that's what's been working the entire game. But they started throwing the ball. Things started happening. An interception from Kirk Cousins, short field, filling up. Pittsburgh scores. Same thing happens on the next drive. So then you see Pittsburgh starts to creep back into this game. They got it all the way back to 36-28, where they're actually driving down. At the end of the game, they're almost about to score a touchdown on the final play of regulation, and Freiermuth drops a touchdown pass. But if they would have scored that touchdown, they still would have had to go for it on 2-point conversion, which they already got the previous drive. So this game was like, hey, man, one of the most exciting games we've seen the second half wise. If there are no moral victories, of course, Mike Tomlin is damn sure going to not accept any moral victories. He's just not that type of coach. But if there are moral victories, I take away from the Steelers that they were able to come back. Big Ben, a lot of people were talking. I was at the casino, with 93.7 KCLB, and we were, talking to a lot of the fans that were out there. And they were just like, man, Big Ben is done. Big Ben is done. And he did look done. And there were some problems on that offensive line, particularly with the center. But he came out and he showed flashes of Big Ben. And it was incredible to watch them come all the way back. But the Vikings, man, they played so many close games. I think it's good. It's a good thing that they were able to pull this victory out. But they need to be concerned that they were giving up such a big lead. How do you feel about watching that game, man?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it is a tale of two halves. It's really like a tale of 3 quarters and 1 quarter. Because what was it, like 2-3 minutes left?
Yeah.
Third quarter, and they were up 29-0 still at that point. So basically in about, 17 minutes, the Steelers were able to come back and have the Vikings like on the balls of their feet, thinking about like possibly losing. Freiermuth, it was a great defensive play on Harrison Smith because he had Absolutely. It not like he dropped it. It got knocked out of his hand. So it was a great play, great throw, by the way. For anybody who questions Big Ben, can he still make some of them throws? Bro, he still dropped some dimes. Like, he throughout the consistency.
But it's a lot of pennies in there. It's a lot of pennies.
And I was about to say, throughout the consistency of a game, no, he can't get it done. But he just when you be like, see, this is why Big Ben should retire today, he just does something. And you like, man, this man might still be halfway decent. He might have another year left. Maybe it's not in the Pittsburgh
jersey. He don't got another year left.
Nah, and I don't, because I believe, just like you said, I don't believe it. He has it consistently in a season, let alone in a game. Like, you get a lot of, he comes out on fire first half, simmers down second half, comes out horrible first half, lights it up second half. And like, you can't have that, especially when you're talking about Pittsburgh. Like, you already are legendary. You're going to go down in history in Pittsburgh. Like, you are a Pittsburgh legend. You brought him 2 championships. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Unless the antics, some of the stuff off the field holds him off out of the Hall of Fame, which I could see happening. But career-wise, accolade-wise, production-wise, he is a Hall of Fame quarterback. But I get it. You know, he's just one of those, he doesn't want to let it go. But like,
is he tarnishing his legacy by not retiring sooner?
No.
He showed that he was great, you know, late in the game.
Away from his prime or anything else, like, do you look at Big Ben different because he's not this great this year? Like, do you look at him?
I feel like the younger generation watches Big Ben and they're like frustrated with him, but they don't really understand how great this man really was and how tough he really is.
That's with all of them, right? That's like when we come in the game, like when we came up, and dang, I don't even really remember.
Like Joe Montana was I was young when Joe Montana was
Joe Montana in Kansas City and saying like, yeah, I mean, he was really
that's a great analogy.
He wasn't what everybody said he was. Yeah, because I didn't see San Francisco. That's, you know what? Here we go. Jerry Rice in Oakland. That is.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
There you go.
He had cornrows that started back here.
Oh, that's the like.
Oh, he got cut. He got cut from the Broncos and the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, you look at my age and it's like, bro, I remember the Jerry from Oakland, but I knew about Jerry from San Francisco. It's the same thing. So
like Michael Jordan with the Wizards. I mean, that was terrible.
But you know,
he was still dropping 20 the game though.
You knew who Jordan was. You knew who Jerry Rice was. It's the same with Big Ben. Like, if his legacy gets tarnished, then that's on our generation for allowing a guy such as Big Ben's caliber for his legacy to be tarnished. So that's on us to we're not educating the young bulls like the same way we got educated. Because let you around the OG have said, man, Jerry Rice trash. They would have educated you. That's that Oakland Jerry Rice. You don't know nothing about that San Francisco Jerry Rice.
Go across that bay.
Yeah, or you would have been like, Jordan, he ain't all that. Y'all said all this talking about the Wizards, Jordan. Like, hold on, young buck. Let me tell you the stories about 95, 96. Michael Jordan, while you over here judging him at 03. Like, so if his legacy gets tarnished on the field because of how he's playing right now, then we gotta, you know, that's on us. That's on our generation for not keeping a legend like Ben Roethlisberger and how great he really was during his career, keeping that same energy like we do with Eli, like people are still seeing with Tom Brady, like we do with Peyton Manning, like we do with Drew Brees. Even when they fell off, broken neck, Drew Brees been hurt, playing hurt the past couple of years. We've let people know, like, hey, this ain't the Drew Brees that we know. This ain't the Peyton Manning. And he's able to win the Super Bowl behind a great defense. So, you know, like I said, I think it's on this generation if we let Big Ben's name get tarnished and he's not looked as a legendary quarterback throughout this time, especially throughout this century. Since 2000, bro, he's been one of the top 5.
And he got 2 rings. Game
in the past 20 years, he's been one of the top 5 to 7 quarterbacks that have played the game, stepped on the field in this century. So that's something to consider.
And me as a Ravens fan, man, I hate him, but at the end of the day, he's such a great player, man, and you have to respect him too. You know, it's just a wonderful career that he's been having. And last night was just a one of the great moments for him. If they were able to pull off that victory, that win, oh my goodness, that would have been the number 1 single regular season victory, because nobody's ever come back from more than 28 in regular season, and I believe it's 32 in the playoffs. But yeah, we are going on live. That is Mo Murphy with the Boston hat on. I am Barry Long II. We are live on CoachellaValley.com, today'scalifornia.com. We are also live on today'scanada.com. Now, before we get into some of these NFL matchups, let's just talk about the Vikings real quick, because you put us on Mike Zimmer alert earlier this week, and you let us know that after they lost to Detroit, a lot of people on Twitter, the Minnesota Vikings Twitter community is all over Mike Zimmer, and these Vikings have lost all close games. Every game that they've played has been within a score, one touchdown. So is this like panic time? Should we be looking at Mike Zimmer right now? Is putting him on a hot seat? Is he the blame for this debacle? Because ultimately, even though they were able to win, they still gave up that big lead.
Who else is to blame? When
Kirk Cousins could be to blame.
And right. So that's what I'm saying. You only have, when a team is bad, or a team isn't playing up to expectations, you don't look at the star Ain't nobody looking at the Rams and bringing up Aaron Donald or Jalen Ramsey when they was talking about, the slump that the Rams are going in. They was talking about Sean McVay and Matt Stafford. Ain't nobody talking about the Harrison Smith when the Vikings ain't playing up part. Tyrann Mathieu when the Chiefs were struggling. It's your quarterback, your GM, and your head coach. One of those three guys are always going to take the blame. One of those three guys' job is always going to be in jeopardy. Trade possibilities, all that. So you look at Kirk Cousins, and he's playing actually really good this year. If you look at his numbers, you look at the metrics, you do a deep dive analytically, Kirk Cousins, they're all going to tell you Kirk Cousins is playing really well. The Vikings record, their failures to close out games or whatever is not on Kirk Cousins. Defense has been banged up. So you're not going to kill the defensive coordinator as much. They've been doing as well a job as they can with the injuries that they've had. Harrison Smith has been in and out of the lineup. They lost Griffin for the year. Like, they've had some major injuries even prior to the season starting. So you're like, okay, well, the defensive coordinators. So I'm looking at Mike Zimmer. Like, when you can't close out games, who was people looking at? They look at the head coach. Because it comes down to play calling. Players execute plays, but they execute plays that are being called from the top. And they have, so you got the right play call, but you got to execute. But when you execute, but it was a bad play call, or you don't execute based on it being bad play calling, you should have been, bro. Pittsburgh should have never had a chance. Why was Kirk Cousins still throwing the ball? You are 20-0.
Oh my God.
Dalvin Cook had his way. Okay, you don't want to get Dalvin Cook hurt. That's fine. Alexander Madison, every time he touched the ball, it seemed like it was a first down too.
He was getting some chunks too. Yeah.
Run the clock. You should not be throwing the ball. That doesn't come on Kirk Cousins unless every play call was a run and he audibled into a pass. Bro, run the ball. Like, when you're up 29-0 with 3 minutes left in the third quarter, another team, unless it's 3 and out, and that wouldn't have been the case because they've been running all over them anyway.
Yeah.
Run the ball. Run the time out. Like, use time. They don't have a lot of time. You got all the time in the world. You're the team up 29-0. So, yes, it goes to Mike Zimmer. People are already dissatisfied. And so, like, he's going to have to go on a deep playoff run. And I don't see that happening for him to keep his job, because I think they want something new. Because Minnesota, when they're fully healthy, that roster is really good. You got Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. You would have had Irv Smith Jr., he got hurt prior to the season. They forget they got him at tight end. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback, middle of the pack, whatever, but still feasible quarterback. You got Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison in the backfield. You got some dogs on defense. Like,
dogs on defense.
Bro, that is a good roster. Like, that is a really winnable roster. I guess if you want to upgrade over Kirk Cousins, you entertain it, you look, you find it, but you might not. You might miss unless you're swinging for the fences and getting Russell Wilson. Or you ain't getting Aaron Rodgers, so you can cancel that. Aaron Rodgers. The Brett Favre situation. He ain't
crazy though. I mean, hey, Brett Favre went from them. He went over to the Vikings.
He went to the Jets first. Remember,
he was in the Jets first, but still, he ended up on the Vikings.
Yeah, bro. No,
he ended up in the enemy
Green Bay would not let that happen. I promise you that.
Well, yeah. Aaron Rodgers is a different type of animal than even Brett Favre, even the great Brett Favre. But yeah, man. So, I agree, man. I agree. They got some problems up there, and they definitely need to address those. But there was also another takeaway from this game. A lot of people were upset that Chase Claypool, when they were down, they had like 30-something seconds left. Chase Claypool catches the first down, and he, instead of hurry up and rushing and getting the ball down to the official so they can spike the ball and clock it, or so they can run an extra play, he actually celebrates on the field. And a lot of the fans, were upset. And Ben was asked during the press conference about this, and he came out and said, it's not really his job to talk to Chase Claypool about that. So he put that on the head coach. Now, people are feeling like, that gave them that basically took away 2 plays that they could have potentially had after that fire move, that pass or whatever. I'm saying maybe 1 play, but do you think that's a problem? Because we saw wide receivers have issues here already. We saw Antonio Brown left under bad circumstances. We had Juju Smith-Schuster, who's had some issues with, the whole dancing on people's logos. And then he had some other, locker room things that we heard from behind the scenes that were going on. Now Chase Claypool is the latest one. Do you think that's an issue?
I mean, yeah, like, bro, you got to know the situation as an offensive player, especially as an offensive skill player, because I'm pretty sure your coach, I'm pretty sure your quarterback, the objective is A, get out of bounds, B, if you cannot get out of bounds, get up quickly. We got to spike the ball. So, yeah, you got a first down. What you celebrating for? First off, it's 26 seconds on the clock and you losing. So what you celebrating for? You got to know you have no timeouts. You can't say you didn't, because I'm sure prior to that drive, that's what the coach and the quarterback was stressing. Get out of bounds, and if you can't get up as quick as you can, people in those circumstances do not celebrate. Yes, it's a problem. Now, is that the end of the game on Chase Claypool? No. Like, first off, you shouldn't have been down 29-0. Let's just go that route. And you can blame, you can pick and choose whatever, but like, well, then let's start picking apart the defensive failures and the defensive line getting bullied and the O-line getting bullied and Big Ben getting killed back there.
Oh,
like,
my God.
The trenches battle, you lost for the first 3 quarters. And then we'll get to Chase Claypool. But that's like reason 5,789 on why they lost. But because it was at the end of the game, they ended up not being able to run another play after Freiermuth was Harrison Smith was able to bat the pass out of Freiermuth's hands. Like, so now you're able to point to that play and be like, we could have ran one more play. Yeah, well, you could have ran like the 100 other plays right the first time, the 3 quarters before, and you wouldn't have been in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. We are Go Long Live. He is Mo Murphy. I am Barry Long. The second. Now let's talk about some NFL matchups that we have this weekend before we get out of here.
We got
and we got a lot. We got a lot of good ones. I wrote down 5 that I want to real quick. We only have like a minute on each one. Ravens and Browns. I'm excited about this one. Really is going to, see it's going to help shape how this AFC North really plays out, because the Ravens, have a chance right now to put a little bit of distance between them and the rest of the division with a win over the Browns. Who do you like and why?
You said the Ravens and the Browns. I'm gonna take Baltimore. I'm gonna take
welcome. I'm going Baltimore too. We're both going Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with Baltimore.
Okay. All right, Niners and Bengals. Like, the Niners really need this, because as it is currently constructed in the NFC playoff picture, the 49ers are in the playoffs as we speak right now. Do you like them over the Bengals this week?
I'm going to take the Bengals.
The Bengals? Ooh, I'm taking the Niners.
Bengals are underdogs too, so I'm going to take the Bengals.
Man, you're taking the Bengals, huh?
Yep, at home. You're a home underdog? Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I hope Deebo Samuel was able to play, but because
my fantasy team hopes so.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of fantasy, Dalvin Cook did some work for me yesterday. Thank you, Dalvin Cook, man. I'm down in the playoffs. All right, let's go. Dallas versus Washington. Now, this is going to be the matchup of the week for me, because Dallas is 2 games above Washington in winning the division right now. You also got the Eagles that are sitting right there on their edges, on their heels. So it's just going to be a really good game. And Mike McCarthy, we talked about how hard it is to be the Dallas Cowboys head coach. It's hard. I mean, even Bill Parcells didn't even look the part when he was the head coach. And we know what Bill Parcells did in the past. Jimmy Johnson is like the last good, Dallas Cowboys head coach that looks like a Cowboys head coach. But Mike McCarthy had the nerve. He had the audacity to guarantee a victory over the Washington football team. Do you not know that is bulletin board material, Mike McCarthy? Like, Mike McCarthy out here guaranteeing wins now. I almost guarantee a loss just because of that.
What was he supposed to say?
He wasn't supposed to say that. I don't know. He was supposed to say,
we're playing a division opponent. So what would you want Harbaugh to say this weekend? If he was asked, if he was put in a position, how do you feel about the game going in? And he said, man, I'm telling you, we're going to win.
They're a tough team, and we hope to walk out of there with a victory. No, man. They're a really good team.
No,
and we certainly know each other very, very well. We played each other a ton. All you know is that when we get together, it's going to be a tough game.
You know what that sound like? That sounds like you ain't confident in your team winning. No, I'd rather my coach, and if it is bulletin board material,
oh my goodness,
guarantee victory. I'd rather my coach say, we feeling good, we looking good, we finna be back, and I promise you, we gonna win this game. You know what? Let's get it. We gonna win this game. It's a very tough team between the divisional opponent.
Man.
And they're playing very well. Let's give them their flowers, so maybe they take it easy on us. If put in a position to hurt our quarterback, maybe they just push them. Man, bump that.
If I'm Ron Rivera, I have that playing on repeat throughout the locker room.
What do you think Ron Rivera has been telling his?
It is kind of stupid to think, as you know, if you're not an athlete, you're just a fan. It's kind of stupid to think like, oh man, why just because that guy said something, why are we going to play even harder? And it's something that really can't be explained, but they do. They do.
But even still, like, listen, bro, when you speak, I'd rather you speak with confidence and let people know how you feel than worrying about giving another team bulletin board. Bro, I don't care about the other team. If you believe you're going to win and you getting the troops ready to win, then it doesn't matter what the other team does. It doesn't matter what you give them. Like, you give teams that are worse than you bulletin board material and you hope it works. Bro, Washington today is not better than us. So we're going to find out on Sunday. Like, bulletin board material, bro. Whatever.
Right, so you taking Dallas.
Duh. Do I ever pick against Dallas? Duh.
All right, I'm taking Washington. I'm taking Washington football team. Taylor Heineke, 5 in a row, baby. Let's go.
You don't even feel confident about that.
Oh, I feel confident. I'm more than confident.
No,
I'm more than confident.
I just got you hyped up. You don't feel confident. Don't text me later talking about I should have picked Dallas. Don't do it.
That's something I would do. We are going on.
Pick your team. And I'll rock with you and you ain't rock with me. We see where real loyalty rises.
Washington football team. Okay. All right. Fine. Bills, Bucks. Who you got?
I'm gonna take the Bucks.
I'm taking the Bills on this one. Man, no, why am I taking the Bills?
I'm on the fence.
I'm taking the Bills. I'm taking the Bills.
I'm gonna take the Bucks. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bucks.
Bills Mafia bounces back. You're taking the Bucks. Man, I should have picked the Bucks, but it's too late. All right, Rams Cardinals Monday. And we're going to really break this one down on Monday.
I'm taking the Rams.
Taking the Rams. I'm taking the damn Cardinals.
That's fine. I'm going to go with the Rams.
Wow.
This is a huge game for the Rams.
This is a huge game for the Cardinals, too. This is like, hey.
No, it's not. It's not.
You don't think so?
If they lose, there's still a game ahead in their division on a team that hasn't showed us consistency as of late.
All their wins are on the road. This is a home game. They're gonna if they want to have home field advantage.
But if the Rams,
they got to prove that they can do the same thing at home. And it's weird. It sounds backwards, but they got to do it at home.
It does sound backwards, but they'll be tied with Green Bay if they lose. Green Bay would win the tiebreaker today, but there's still like 4 more games left, so they'll be fine. The Rams, if they lose this game, now they're 3 games. They could put themselves either a game behind Arizona to win the division, or 3 games back from winning the division. And then at that point, you start to feel more comfortable to say that, first off, Arizona would have the tiebreaker. So now, they'd have to – the Rams would have to win out, and Arizona would have to pretty much lose out for the Rams to win the division. That we wouldn't see that happening at that point if we see an 11-2 Arizona. So I think it's bigger for – because it's tough with 4 games left, 5 games left, to be 3 games behind out of the division. Yeah. That's tough. They'll make the playoffs, sure, but that's a tough predicament to be in. Is 3 games out with 5 games left. You got to go 4-1, 5-0, while the other team got to go 3-2, 2-3 for you to really, or 2-3, 1-4 with the way they're playing at 11-2. Yeah, no. So I think it's more important for the Rams, and I think they know that. They've been there before. Outside of
they certainly have. It's interesting. I can't wait to watch that matchup on Monday Night Football. Kike Soares says, "Hi, I am from Brazil." Shout out to this. So we out there in Brazil, man. We in Brazil, man. Salt Bay, hit him with that Salt Bay.
Oh God!
All right. So the meme of the day, real quick. I found this was kind of fascinating. This is actually a video I found on my man seriously thinks that he is helping stop that bus. And watch him with the chalk. Watch him go get the chalk, bro. Watch him go get the chalk. Whose man's is this? Yo, that I found that hilarious. But that's basically what Mac Jones did. Mac Jones did nothing. That was Strahan from Muth. But yeah, man, it was that was just really, really crazy. Mac Jones really did nothing to help them win. He threw the ball. He handed the ball off nicely.
He did what was asked of him.
He threw 3 passes. And look, speaking of throwing only 3 passes, we have the Army-Navy game coming up. I know you're in the Navy, so obviously that's where your loyalty has to lie, right? You're going for Navy?
It don't have to lie there, but yes, I'm right.
It better.
I'm right.
My father was in the Navy for 22 years, so I'm rocking with the Navy too.
Yeah, my sister in the Army, you know what I'm saying? So I can be like, I'm a rock for baby sis. Like, I don't know, like, but yeah, man, I'm a rock with the Navy. They got the better jerseys.
One thing we know for sure when these 2 teams get together, it's not going to be a lot of passing involved. So I think I looked up the numbers from last year. There were 88 run plays and 8 passes combined between both teams, bro. So I mean,
triple option. This is a team that runs the triple. Both teams run the triple option. So.
and it's going to be boring for the casual fan, but hopefully it's rainy because those games are always better when it's rainy outside and you see all the servicemen out there with their ponchos on and they're going hard. But we know it's going to be a lot of running and it's going to be a great game. And I'm going to be at the casino. We're going to be hosting with Mix 100.5 and Mike Mazzingo. Should be a lot of fun there. All right, but yeah, man, it's been great to having you on the show, man. All week, man. We will definitely break down some of these games on Monday, man. We really got a lot of good matchups that I can't wait to watch. Mo Murphy, let them know where they can find you at, boss.
Yeah, you can find me at Upper Flames Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Mo_Cheese15 on Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you go to offtheballnetwork.com for all your sports news entertainment. And make sure you download Dash Radio and favorite the Nothing But Net channel on Dash Radio because every Monday starting at 11 o'clock with yours truly, 11 a.m. Eastern, and ending at about all the way to about 4 or 5 p.m. is Off the Ball Network Mondays, strictly basketball talk from some of the best basketball analysts that you'll ever hear, over there at Off the Ball Network. So make sure you definitely go check that out.
For sure. And you can find me on Twitter at Radio Barry Long, and I'm also on IG at BarryLong_2. We will be back in the flesh next week. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. And remember, man, go out there, you stay focused, stay motivated, stay inspired. And remember, you're capable of doing anything. So go out and do it. Until Monday, peace.